Hey guys, it's mini training time, and I wanted to give you a short training on how to create sustainable eating patterns to find your ideal body. What is your ideal body? So your ideal body is the body that you have when you are working out for nourishment and for energy and to start your day rather than calorie burn or to hit a certain number on your Apple Watch, right? So it's also when you start eating for nourishment and pleasure and enjoyment, and you eat to the tune of your body signals. You honor that appetite, right? You start respecting when you're hungry and when you're full. So you start listening to the cues of your body. So when your body says, nope, I'm not hungry anymore, you stop. You stop eating the cookie. You can leave half-eaten cookies on a plate, but you're also not scared to eat cookies, right? You're that person that can eat basically anything they want and not feel guilt or shame around it because you eat to what makes you feel good. You want to eat because it makes your body feel good, not to achieve a certain body weight. This is finding your ideal body because we all really want to see where our bodies lie in this ideal body weight. So here's how to create some sustainable eating patterns before we jump into more structured nutrition. So my whole theory is that you cannot add structured nutrition, right? Like a meal plan or a crazy workout program with like a diet into your life without first healing your relationship with food. Because if you don't heal your relationship with food, then you're going to end up right back into this restrict binge cycle. So the first pattern that I want to talk about, it's about anticipating hunger every 2 to 4 hours. Yes, like we somehow seem to get surprised when we're like, oh my gosh, it's been 2 hours since I ate and I'm hungry already. Like we almost get like angry about it. Like I shouldn't be hungry right now. Why is this happening? I just ate. And then we're like, okay, well, I'm going to just have, some carrot sticks and then that should fill me up. I'll just eat like a whole bag of those. And then, hopefully that'll hold me over till dinner. And when your body's really like, oh, no, dude, we need some more food. So expect that hunger. And, this isn't a set time limit that, it's 2 to 4 hours. Sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's a little bit shorter. Also, my second, sorry, I keep getting hair in my face for some reason. The second pattern is to eat your core meals. I have a 3CM method that I lay out how to build your plate on my Courageous Nourishers course collective that's opening up today actually, and we start on Sunday, so make sure you save your spot, but on what to include in your plate to eat 3 core meals. So if you wonder why you keep snacking all the time, it's because you're not having enough at either breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or you think you shouldn't be eating a certain amount at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Like I always thought that for dinner, it should only be vegetables and protein, right? Because if I have carbs at night, then it's just gonna go straight to my fat cells and it's gonna build more fat and keep on adding on to that glucose. Not true. So when you start eating more at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like you're gonna notice, hey, I'm not as hungry. I'm not craving, dessert or a lot of chocolate at night usually, because when you're eating carbs at night, which was one of my biggest like mind-blowing experiences, like when I actually started adding in carbs at night, I didn't need dessert as much afterwards. Like I was like, oh, that filled my need for sweets because that glucose, I just needed it in my body. My body was trying to give me signals, right? Like, Christy, we need some fast digesting carbs here. Go get something really quick. Go grab that, cookie out of the package, or go grab that chocolate that's sitting at the top of the fridge. Your body's constantly sending you these signals. The third pattern is to eat without distraction. Tough one, hot subject, and I know it. I'm a mom of 2 kids, and my husband is still going to work in this quarantine, so I often eat very fast. Worked in retail my whole life, so ate very fast then as well. So to eat slowly, to eat pleasurably, to start enjoying your food, it's a whole new experience on food. If you haven't done it yet, if you haven't actually sat down to eat instead of taking things out of the bags, eating chips out of the bag, or, having things out of the can or anything like that, it is such a cool experience to actually taste your food and not inhale it. So that's also one of the reasons, is to try and eat without distraction. If the first thing you can do is just to sit down, like if you make a deal with yourself and say, listen, I'm not going to eat standing up anymore. I am going to actually sit down, even if it's like I'm getting a handful of raisins or M&Ms or whatever it might be out of the pantry. I'm going to put them on a plate and I'm going to sit down. As ridiculous as it may sound, do it. You're going to experience this in a whole new way. Food is so enjoyable when we can start actually using it for pleasure and for enjoyment, rather than, oh, I need to fuel my body really quick right now, so this is what I'm going to have. And when we actually start sitting down to eat, we listen to our hunger cues, and that's when our bodies will say, oh, hey, wait, we're full right now, you can stop. Instead of mindlessly, eating for numbing or coping mechanisms, which I used to do in front of the TV a lot because I just needed something to do with my hands, or I was bored, or when I was trying to like shove down feelings that I just didn't want to feel anymore, or that I was too scared to feel, or it was too uncomfortable to feel, I went to food, because food was that calming. It was like, okay, I could forget about this problem for 2 seconds while I, shove these Pringles in my face really quick, but I never really actually tasted them. And when you get to this food freedom point, you're going to start to taste the food. And some of the food that I actually started eating, I was like, I really actually don't like this. So you start figuring yourself out. You start figuring out these things that, like, I only ate this because it was an off limits food, or it was a bad food to eat, right? My quotation marks, you can't see them right there. There we go. So, it's really important when you eat without distraction to know that it's kind of like when you work out a muscle, right? Like when you do a bicep curl, don't focus on your shoulder blades, or don't focus on, your triceps. Focus on that bicep muscle, because that's going to actually start growing that muscle. It's that mind to muscle connection. That's what slowing down to eat is. It's that mind to muscle connection, mind to taste buds, we should say, with your food. And then the next pattern is to choose what you want to eat based on how you want to feel afterwards. So if you know that you're going somewhere, or going to be doing something, or we're all in quarantine right now, let's be completely honest, we're not going anywhere. But let's say you know that you're going to go for a big long walk after dinner. So I know that I don't want to feel like crap. I know that I don't want to feel like bogged down, greasy foods that are just going to make me feel really heavy and like uncomfortable when I walk. So I want to eat based on how I want to feel. And most of the time, let's be honest, in quarantine, we just want to feel good. Like we're craving the feel good hormones, the feel good everything right now, because life is so uncertain that that's our one constant that we have, is to eat. So if I'm going to eat, I want to eat what makes me feel good. And if you're in the first step, the first phase, which is the all-in phase into this journey, it's so hard to do. So I would just give you full permission to eat all foods right now, to just kind of eat whenever you want to eat. Make sure that you start listening to your body afterwards, because that's going to start telling you, hey, ice cream for breakfast 2 days in a row didn't really feel good. Let's try something different. So it's all about diving into the failures, right? So I'm going to do this, like get that diet rebel out, like just say, yeah, we're going to have ice cream for breakfast and it's going to be so awesome. And then once you do it, you're going to be like, oh, I don't really feel that good afterwards. Let's not really do that anymore. So this is about getting out all those, like I tell my son, getting out the wiggles, right? Like, okay, he's got way too much energy pent up. Like you've probably got like way too many like bad foods up here, right? That you need to just get out and eat. So when you go all in on your journey, which is the first part of this step, it's to just release all that energy and just say, okay, like I'm done with that now. I'm tired of eating cookies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like I need something nourishing in my body. That's what this is. It's like failing and then getting back up and then walking back into it. And then the next pattern you're going to have is, I want you to keep thinking to yourself, like you can always have more, right? Like let's say you're eating lunch and you're like, okay, this needs to hold me over until dinner because I really don't want to snack. And this is a really big lunch, so it should hold me over. Like if your body is sending you signals like, hey, Christy, we're full. You really need to shut this meal down. Like I'm over it. I can always tell when a meal isn't tasting that good because my taste buds aren't responding like they did to the first couple bites, right? So your taste buds are a huge signal factor there. Also, when you start to think about other things, when your mind starts wandering, when it's not on the food anymore, when it's okay, what's our schedule look like today? What's going on? What movie are we going to watch tonight? What book are we going to read? Start going, okay, those are some signals, like my mind is wandering away from the food. Like, remember when you first started eating, your mind was probably constantly on food. Well, now it's wandering away. So what is that telling you? It's telling you, hey, like these minor signals, sometimes they're not always going to be physical. Sometimes like, hey, like your stomach's like feeling full. Yeah, that's one of them. But think about the mental ones too. Are you like, I know like a weird one that I do is I'll start to move on to different foods on my plate. And when I've made a round and I go back for the seconds on my plate, like, cause I like variety on my plate, I'll start to notice like, hey, this food isn't tasting as good anymore. So really start to notice those things, and remember that you can always have more. Remember that this food is not going away. Like, you can wrap this up. You can have it in a couple hours. So, you could split that big lunch up into 2 smaller lunches. You can save it for dinner tonight if you don't eat it all. You can save it as a snack. You can, save that meat that you had in your dinner and you can mix it with your eggs in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, get creative with this and really start like asking yourself, and this is going to sound so weird. I'm like looking at my wonderful notes here because this is all the Courageous Nourishers course. I have this like little guy in my head, right? And I haven't named him. So if you have a name for him, like put it in the comment section, because I don't know what I'm going to call him. But that voice in your head, it's like that's like, okay, stop, like halt. Who goes there? Like, I think of Monty Python every time I hear this. Like, it's this voice in my head. And when like that voice in your head starts like coming in, like, Christy, you're eating too much food. Like, you really shouldn't be eating that potato. Like, you just had cereal this morning. Like, this is way too many carbs. Like, when that voice starts coming in, whoever you named your guy, or I don't know, you guys got to come up with a really creative name for this guy. I don't know. He's got to have an awesome name. Like, but I just visualize him in the front of my brain going like, hold on, I gotta get a hand signal here. Halt, who goes there, right? Like, and he can have an accent or whatever, like, halt, who goes there, whatever you want to do. But give this guy a name and really listen to him. Like, when those bad thoughts start coming into your head, those unhelpful thoughts, those diet culture thoughts of you shouldn't be eating that, watch out, that nutrition informant, as the intuitive eating book calls it, whatever that is, like, this has too many calories, this is going to make you so fat, don't eat it. Really start to think about that guy and just be like, okay, is this helpful? Is this a controlling feeling? Why is this feeling here? Because it's probably stems from just years of diet culture. And then the next and last pattern we'll go to is to really start your day with some kind of movement. And if it's not like physical movement, what's something mental? Like, 'cause clearly every day, a workout every day, even a walk every day, whatever you want to do, some days you just need a break. Some days your body's like, I need something different. What can you do to start your day with something that's going to make you fulfilled and feel good? Is it journaling? Is it writing? Is it going for a walk? Is it working out? And this is going to look different for you every day. And even if you're like, oh, Monday through Friday, I do this, and then Saturdays I go for a walk, and then Sundays I do meditation. Well, some days that's going to get messed up, right? Like, life's going to throw a coronavirus in your face, and you're going to be like, this just all got flipped upside down. So go with the flow and the fact that things are going to be so different every day, but to really start your day with a positive intention. Like, I'm not asking you to be like Miss Positive over here, but I'm asking you just to flip that negative into a positive. So if you're like not feeling it this morning, you're like, why I'm here, I'm up early at 6 a.m. and I shouldn't be here, I want to be sleeping and I hate this and this is so stupid. Write that down. Like, write it all in your journal, start to voice record yourself into an app, write it into your notes on your phone, do something creative. If you want to foam roll, if you want to stretch, if you're really looking to work on mobility right now, what is something you're doing every morning? Because this is going to set the intention for your day. We all know that when we start our days off with a good feeling, when we're just all feeling great, our days turn out better because we got a little one in here, because we started our day that way. So that's my mini training. I'm just kind of a little bit of a longer training, but just something I wanted to help you guys out with today. So let me know if you have any questions and name that guy in the comments. So, all right, guys, thanks for hanging with us today. We'll see you soon. Bye.